Going to talk about the third way of heat transfer, which is called radiation. When I say the word radiation, you imagine that there are rays that are extended from a source of these rays, all the medium surrounding this source, right? Yes, it's the same here. Radiation also, this is one method of heat transfer that can occur in the air or any gas, or even it can occur without the presence of medium in space. In the space there is no medium, there is vacuum. Space means that there is vacuum. When I say the word vacuum, it means that there is no medium, no air, no kinds of gases are present in the space. So radiation can occur in all the gases or even in vacuum without the presence of matter. What is the meaning of radiation? Radiations are like rays of electromagnetic waves. We are going to talk about electricity inshallah later. Electromagnetic waves that can travel through space or through vacuum to reach another object. For example, if you are talking about the sun, between the sun and the earth, is there any gas? Is there air between them? No, the air is present only surrounding the earth. So you can feel the heat from the sun or not? Yes, you can feel it, right? Imagine that this is the sun. So it means that the heat is transferred from the sun through space to reach the earth. How? By conduction? No, we said that for the conduction to occur, the two objects have to be in contact or in touch. And for sure, the earth is not in touch or in contact with the sun. Fine. Is it by convection? We said that convection occurs when there is a medium between them, and this medium is fluid. Fluid may mean that it can be gas or liquid. Is there a gas or liquid between the sun and the earth? No, there is space or vacuum. There is no medium. So how is this heat transferred, or thermal energy transferred from the sun to the earth? By radiation. These are electromagnetic waves that can travel through vacuum. Or even it can travel through the air. It can travel through vacuum or the air. So my friends, back to our picture at the beginning. Here, my friends, in this picture, we have said that there are three mechanisms of heat transfer, or three methods of heat transfer, right? Yes. For example, we said that from the body of the pan to the pan itself, and even from the handle to your hand, from the handle of the pan to your hand, this is by conduction. Why conduction? Because these are two objects that are in contact, and from the body of the pan to the handle, this is between that heat transfer between the particles of one object. So this is called conduction, right? What about convection? It occurs here inside the water, right? Circular motion, or the convection current that occurs inside the water. It causes the whole water to have high temperature, right? Now, if you have put your hand here in this part, would you feel that it's hot? Yes, it's hot, right? How can you feel it? You can feel it by radiation of the heat from the pan and the water inside the pan to your hand. Here are some examples for radiation. The heat from the fire that reaches this wall by radiation, right? Also here, by radiation, the heat from the candle to your hand, and the heat from the sun to the earth. Okay? Look at this picture, my friends. In your textbook, heat transfer goes on all around you all the time, even on the beach. Fill the chart below to review the different types of heat transfer. Then in the illustration, label at least one example of each type of heat transfer and draw arrows to show how heat is being transferred to each example. Here is talking about types of heat transfer. We said that we have three types: conduction, convection, and radiation. He's asking you to explain and define these methods of heat transfer. For conduction, conduction occurs when heat transferred between two objects that are touching or in contact or within the same object. What about convection? Convection occurs when part of fluid, take care of the word fluid, is heated, rises, and is replaced with cooler fluid. This is the circular motion, which is called convection current. As fluid rises, fluid above it cools and sinks, and that process repeats, forming the convection current. The third method of heat transfer, which is called radiation. Radiation occurs when heat is transferred by electromagnetic waves. This type of transfer doesn't require matter to pass through. Fine. Here, look at this picture and show examples for the heat transfer in this picture. For example, this man who's making barbecue. The heat is transferred to the surrounding region. Yeah, you can feel the heat surrounding this barbecue, right? Why? What is the cause? Which one of heat transfer? Conduction? No, we said conduction between two objects that are in contact. It means that your hands had to be in contact or touching this pan or barbecue pan. Can you do this? For sure not. So you can feel it by radiation. You can feel it by radiation. Another example for radiation, as you see here, the sun, right? The sun makes the temperature here on the beach very high. Why? Because of radiation, also electromagnetic waves that are transmitted from the sun to the earth, right? For conduction, here the feet of this leg, they are the feet of this girl. They will feel hot when you are touching the sand of the beach. Would you feel it hot or not? Yes, you will feel it hot. Why? Your legs are, or your feet are in contact, direct contact, or touching the sand. So the temperature, the high temperature or the high thermal energy from the sand will pass to your feet by conduction. By conduction. Why conduction? Because you are touching the sand. Fine. For convection, you will notice that the temperature or the air just above the seawater will become high. What would happen, or how the air surrounding the or above the water will become with high temperature? What happens here is convection, right? Because the air which is touching the water, which is hot, will make convection current, the circular motion, so the air above the sea will become hot, right? For this kite, the same. The kite is carried by hot air. The kite is carried by hot air. Where is the site of the hot air? Is it just in contact with the seawater or above? It's moving upward. Yes, it's moving upward. Why is it moving upward? Because it makes a circular motion by the convection current. Which means that the hot air will go upward because it has lower density, and the cool air will go down. These are some examples for the three ways of heat transfer by conduction, convection, and Radiation, a quick review. We said that these are three methods of heat transfer. Conduction occurs when within the same object or between two objects that are in touch. Convection occurs in fluids like in gases or in liquids by convection current. Radiation. Radiation occurs in the gases or even with no medium and is formed in the form of electromagnetic waves. That was for our lesson grade 6 for today. Thanks for your listening and see you inshallah on the next lesson.